Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. This is our weekly kickoff. I'm a little late on the video because I'm still recovering from Gregtoberfest. Those of you that are new to my channel, I do an Oktoberfest with my husband every October called Gregtoberfest. We do all our own cooking and we party like rock stars for about 24 hours. And it's a great time. You can see at midnight, I turned into a unicorn. It's on my community page. It was a great time, but I'm still catching up on sleep and finally got everything cleaned up today. So we're going to do a few things. It's going to be our weekly kickoff. So we're going to talk about what's going to go on the week. And for the whole week, we're going to talk about what's next for the Windsors. So if you're not a royal watcher, I'm sorry. I will try and get back to other things other than royal videos, but there's a lot of action over there. A lot of stuff is going on. So, and I'm still, sending in my application to be the court seer or fortune teller or magician. I'll be a magician. I'll get a hat. So that being said, new viewers, welcome. Hope you stick around. And repeat offenders, thanks so much for being here. So glad you guys are a part of my channel. I do want to do a little brief homage to the Queen and the events of the funeral. It was amazing. I just want to say, there have been a number of really large scale dramatic events in my lifetime. My kids, they did get to experience a pandemic and all that, not really fun stuff. Not that the Queen passing away is, yay, like a fun thing, but it is a tremendously historical event. This is a huge historical event, and I'm so glad that we can participate via the internet or TV or whatever. I think it was just such a gift for all of us to be able to see this and further get to see the coronation of Charles III and see what's going on with this changing of the guard. I mean, it's quite remarkable. Huge world history event. So really cool. I did cry. And, some of the moments, Emma the horse, they brought Emma out to the street, and that was amazing. And the corgis, they had the corgis there. So that was amazing. And then, of course, Princess Charlotte, she was, she's only 7. I think she did an amazing job. She's an adorable child and an adorable princess, I should say. And, of course, she did lose it a little bit. So that's okay. So, just to catch up on the week. So this week there is no dueling tarot. I am sorry. We will be back the following week. Alicia and I both just had a bunch of obligations that we have to do. I am getting my way through band season, drill season, Gregtoberfest season, and now we're going right into like Thanksgiving and Halloween season. So I've got my hands full. I've got a ton of readings that I'm doing for the Halloween holiday season. So trying to just be as temperance card as possible and balance everything. But I figured this week we're going to stick with the royals and specifically the Windsor Mountbattens or Mountbatten Windsor. Which way? It goes one way or the other. We're going to stick with the royal family. And I did bust out my Lenormand cards. So Lenormand is a playing card, divination, really cool. It's a little bit different from tarot. I'm going to still do some tarot cards for this, but the Lenormand is more verbal. And I did have an instructor explain it as this. It's more verbal than tarot is image and pictorial based. So you can actually read the layouts like a sentence. It's pretty cool. So we're going to do a little bit of this. We'll dip you guys in. I've been very neglectful with my Lenormand or Lenormand practice. So I do want to bring it out. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at what's next. The funeral ended today. difficult day. The royal family, they don't get a minute to rest. They've got to go right into continuing to work and continuing to do what they do. That we are changing gears and bringing in another monarch. There is a lot of work to be done, even though the anticipation of the fullness of time was there and they had a lot of things in place. There's still a lot of adjustments that are going to have to be made. So let's see, we're going to look at Charles' first 90 days. When you get a new job, we do a 30, 60, 90-day plan. So let's see what his first 90 days are going to be like. Well, look, 1 month, 2 month, 3 months. Okay. Now I'm going to try to not mention those two. We're going to try to not do that. I don't know if it's possible. I think they're going to come out because they are kind of a thorn in his side. So let's pull up the card view. And again, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below if you want to see something different. Let me know what you think of the Lenormand cards or the Lenormand cards. I am always curious about your feedback. And let's see how Charles is going to do. We're going to do first 3 months. 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. 90 days. So, some difficulty making decisions here in this first 30 days, first month. Some difficulty making hard decisions. When we get the Two of Swords, this is always some kind of decision making process, some kind of cutting, some kind of taking out. You know, when we have the Two of Wands or the Two of Cups, or I'm sorry, the Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, it's usually something coming in. You have to make a decision between two things. The Two of Cups is more of an emotional decision. Now, the cutting out, yeah, that can be an emotional decision as well, but it's upside down. So this is a hard decision we have to make, hard and fast. This is a like point of no return decision making process here. And the judgment's still out. He's still stuck on this. He cannot figure out what to do. So I'm not sure what kind of directives were left by Queen Elizabeth for him. I don't know how that works when you're the heir and you become the king. Like, do you get like, hey, like, yeah, obviously you get on the job training, but do you get like a list? Like, here's the combination to the safe and the keys to my Range Rover are in my desk. Like, do you get like that? I don't know if you do. Do you get to just move in and start running things your way? Probably. There's probably some things that need to get changed. Now, Elizabeth II's reign was pretty amazing and pretty successful by most accounts. So, tinkering with that system, who knows if that's a good idea? Looks like there's some jury that's still out on that. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So, not everyone is working in concert just yet. There's probably some changes that are being implemented. There's probably some people that are bucking that system and saying, hey, you know, it's not broke. Why fix it? Why are we getting involved in this? So that is something to keep in mind. I think there's going to be some difficulty. I don't want to say difficulty because it's not coming through intuitively as difficulty, but it's like, you know, garden variety difficulty. We're just getting up to speed. We're just getting, you know, he's got to move all his stuff into the office. He's got to, you know, change his residence and he's got to get fitted for the hat and and whatnot. I meant the crown, not the hat, but there's a lot that's going to go into this. So he's had a long time to figure out what kind of ruler he is going to be. So let's see what he wants to do. So I don't know how much he butted heads. I didn't watch The Crown, so I have no idea, even like a fictionalized version of it, how much he butted heads with, how much Charles III butted heads with Queen Elizabeth II, King Charles III, King Charles, Captain Jack Sparrow. So, second month. Now here we see some interesting things. We've got different. This is our Five of Swords back here, and this is working together to implement, streamline, cut, clean up with others. We're doing that. There is the Four of Swords under that. Now, the Four of Swords, for my tarot enthusiast, this soldier is either sleeping or resting, or I'm sorry, resting or he's dead. Having this card, there's two things that you can look at. It is safe to rest. Your work is done. You can wait. You're halfway through the battle, or uh, you know, things have been committed. You have done them, and your decisions have resulted in an unchangeable condition. You can look at it that way. Now, when we are in reverse, we are looking at not wanting to, we're still back on this judgment situation, not wanting to go back and make that hard decision, because once we make that hard decision, it is unchangeable. And this is appealing to the higher self and not getting the answers we want. And this happens sometimes, like when you meditate, when you have a difficult decision, leaving a marriage, whether or not to have a child. Sometimes it can be, do I want to trade my car? And these are big decisions. Sometimes we need to meditate on that. I know, like, buying a car is a little bit over the top, but for some people, their car is their baby. I'm just saying. So this is using your higher mind to make a sound decision, pulling in your spirit, your guides, your ancestors, to talk to them. And that's one of the things that he would benefit from in this second month, is appealing to those ancestors. So I talk about this sometimes, that we can, death is but a door. We can appeal to our ancestors to a certain degree. Like, we're not going to sit down and have a full-blown conversation with them, but we can reach out, and those of us that are sensitive and open to getting those messages back may get a response. They may get a nudge a certain way. They may experience some signs that pop up. I don't know, like, my grandfather used to take me to McDonald's when I was, little. On Sunday morning, we would call him up, and we'd tell him our parents were still sleeping and we were hungry, and he would come and get us. It was very cute. And he would always get McDonald's coffee with the little McDonald's stir that had the little M on the end. Americans, I know you know what I'm talking about if you're of an age. So if I, appealed to my grandfather to give me some guidance, and, I found one of those stars, I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, he's listening. You get signs like that. So, people can say I'm superstitious, whatever. That really, it will happen. You will see things like that. And Charles would really, really, really benefit from appealing to his ancestors and just kind of reaching through the veil a little bit, seeing if he can get some help with getting all of this on board. There's just a lot of, it feels and sounds like a big machine that's working. It's like, that's what is going on right now. Again, the anticipation was that we were going to be doing this in a few years anyway, because of the age of the former sovereign. But now we're there, and it just kind of happened a little bit faster, and now we just have to make some adjustments. So still some adjustments. He does need to appeal to his ancestors, his mother, his father, reach through the veil, talk to them a little bit. That will help him with this decision making, and will ease his brow, is almost what I'm getting. And will, like, it's this kind of a comforting thing. Like, it's just going to ease his brow. actually have this sensation going right now. So I don't know if that's something that she did, um, that Queen Elizabeth did for Charles when he was a baby. But it's just kind of easing the brow. So we get into the third month. The third month, he's going to be balancing trying to manage onboarding and some external influences. So we're going to have some external influences here. The onboarding is going to take a little bit longer than expected. There's going to be some distractions from this. We're going to hear some noise. Let me hear some noise. And it's going to be about the holding back of funds. Okay, so this is like a WP, not a CP. This is a William problem, not a Charles problem. I think certain individuals are going to be very upset that now the Duke of Cornwall, who is now William, is going to William, Duke of Cornwall, right? I think I got that right. William, comma, Duke of Cornwall. He is in charge of some significant monies now. And I believe he's in charge of doling them out. I have a feeling there's going to be a vein of money that is going to dry up for certain individuals that may or may not be living abroad for entertainment purposes only. Trying to keep him out of this one. I don't want him in this reading. But that is really, I think there's going to be some complications there, but I don't think it's a C problem. I think it's a what did I say? A WP, not a CP. William problem, not Charles problem. So let's see. Let's see if it's who I think it is. I don't think he has to worry about it at all. I think William has this well in hand. I think he's got an excellent team behind him. There's a very strong sense of PR here. And I'm just going to put it out there. I wouldn't be surprised if he contacted an individual at a certain PR firm that didn't get paid by some, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, by certain individuals. So I think William may have reached out to them. And I want to keep William out of this because we're going to stick to Charles. But I have a feeling that William may have reached out to that PR firm and maybe playing the back game, which is pretty cool. It'd be pretty smart. I'm just going to make a note. I'll do that tomorrow. So let's look at his first big dilemma. What is Charles's first big dilemma going to be? First kind of stumble. I mean, we had the pen incident, but everybody just chill out. Pen was leaking all over the place. Come on. Bloody thing. Thank God for oh. Well, there we go. That's curious. Oh, there she is. So she is a problem, and I'm sorry, guys. They're showing up here. So this is a woman that uses her emotions, appeals to the emotions of others, and uses them to manipulate, dissuade, move, sway to her side of thinking. I think we all know who this potentially could be. This is contracts, being stuck, not being able to get out of the situation. Our devil card here. This is just being locked in, having something that is going to prevent escape And this is something that's going to keep the connection between the two of them. This, again, is a locked up card. This is locked up by your own actions, your own mentality, which is very curious. The moon card is pretty spooky. The moon card is pretty spooky. And in Lenormand, the moon card is not as spooky, but the moon card here is unknown. This is being told of the unknown things that will get out and bring everything to a crashing halt. This is, I will end it. This is endings. And this is just a kid throwing a temper tantrum. So this does not necessarily have to be a woman. This does not necessarily have to be a child. These are people, though. These are characters that will use their emotions to damage, sway, influence others. They absolutely will. They are ruthless. They don't care about other people. So this is something to keep in mind. This is a pretty rough thing. So his first big dilemma, I think we all know who the first big dilemma is. Let's switch it up. Let's look at his first success. So we don't want to focus on that. We want to focus on positive stuff, like unicorns drinking beer at midnight and eating pretzels. Gregopedia is now here. You want to say hi, Greg?
Hi, Greg.
How was your Gregtoberfest, Greg?
Words cannot describe the bliss.
It's like having a wedding every year, isn't it?
It's like a wedding, birthday, Christmas, and all at once.
Colonoscopy.
Yeah, that too. That's the next day.
Oh, so we have a lot of fun over here, guys. If we ever buy that bed and breakfast, you're all invited.
You're all paying too.
Yeah, well, Gregopedia said you're all paying. You're all paying. So what is Charles' first big success? Let's get some positive stuff here. I want positive stuff. What's his first big success? Well, this is very interesting. So every family needs a mother, right? So he is not held by traditional standards here. And what he's going to do is he's going to let, despite it not being part of the, like the natural hierarchy of things, he is going to let Catherine become the matriarch of the family, which I think is a great move. I think that's a terrific move. I don't think that Camilla really wants to do it. I don't think she wants to be queen. I think queen consort is fine. She's just there. She's hanging out. She's having a great time. She's got a gin and tonic. She's going to go smoke a cigarette. Totally happy. I've said in my other readings, I do think that Camilla has some health issues. And I think that they really are kind of coasting into, what would have been retirement. I think they do like to move at a slower pace. They are both like Pentacles, very slow and deliberate. So I think moving Catherine into this position of the matriarch of the family, not the queen, but the matriarch of the family, which is going to be very different because that sets her up to be a very different queen consort when the fullness of time comes for her. So he is not constrained by these traditional standard values. He is, just by this act, modernizing the royal family, and it is moving forward. But it is moving forward collectively, but not radically. This is the key, is that he is not going to move forward radically. Everyone said Queen Elizabeth was a great chess player. She was very deliberate. She would look at the long game. I think Charles learned very well from her. And I think that Catherine is well suited to continue in that vein. But there's a much more human aspect to her. Alicia Wicker, that was for you. Human aspect. She's much more human aspect than the royal family. You like that, Greg? I didn't say it. You can't say that online.
You can't say that either?
You can't say it. I think you can say it. Can you say it?
I'm not saying anything anymore.
So, yes, I think that she is PR wise a much an easy, like, kind of lobbed pitch right out of the park, you know. So that was like an American reference to baseball. So she's going to be an easy fit for the people of the United Kingdom, the Commonwealth. They get her. She was a commoner, albeit a well-placed commoner, but she was a commoner. She's going to fit right in there. She's not, you know, she's very, very understandable. So, you know, his big success here is that he's not going to try and take over the mother and the father role. So in the Russian royal family, they called the Tsar the little father. He was the little father. He was underneath God. He was the conduit to God. He, you know, people would pray to the Tsar. They would pray, and then the Tsar would be the conduit to whatever being is beyond this. Charles is willing to hand this off to her. And this is actually a significant portion of glory for any monarch, because they are supposed to be there and hold the people to their bosom. He is going to let, this sounds terrible, he's going to let the people cuddle on Catherine's bosom. No, he's going to let her. What's that?
Can we move to England?
You want to move to England?
Yes, I want to nestle on her bosom.
Isn't she a bit young for you? Oh, no, she's not. She's right up your alley. Ooh, that's... No, we're not moving to England. She's married.
Never can do anything. Never can do anything I want to do.
So, I think this is going to be a really good move for him. I think this is a really successful, good move. He's balancing between leadership and appealing to that emotional PR of the people. So, great move. It's going to really solidify the family. This is a circling of the wagons too. They are going to circle those wagons. So everybody's looking good on that one. Good move. King Charles III. So we're just going to pull out some Lenormand for you guys. And like I said, this is a little bit different from tarot. It's just regular playing cards. You always read them upright. Those of you that don't know it, I'm still going to use my dueling tarot wand here. So we're just going to lay out, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 cards. See what's there. And we'll just see what's going to happen with Charles from this point moving forward. Just see if he's got any pitfalls coming up. And I will explain the cards. If I have to dip into the book, please forgive me. Like I said, I've been neglecting my Lenormand practice. It's my fault. I have 27 different oracle cards. And I'm like trying to get into those. Charles. So we have the key. The ship, the moon, the fox, and the stork. Oh, stork is a great card, or an interesting card. I shouldn't say it's a great card. All right, so if we're reading Lenormand. We have key, unlocking, travel to emotional, exciting things with a crafty individual for altruistic means. So, and it's really funny because I really wanted to get the stork for this because I'm going to pull the traditional meaning. I'm going to put my glasses on because there's a cute little story that goes with the stork. So, how this works. We're unlocking movement of emotional things to get to the crafty person to perform some kind of altruism. Now, the reason why the stork is interesting is because in this particular book, which is Easy Lenormand Handbook, readily available on Amazon. This is actually a bundle set that I got. The stork, you may find yourself in a situation where the presence of the stork may mean you receive news of something being taken away from you for someone else's benefit. And I was thinking in terms of the titles, I was wondering if this card was going to come up. So I think we are going to see some title shifting. I don't necessarily think he will be traveling, but I think the key is that he will be traveling and not caught up in the emotion of this. Now, the fox and the snake are both crafty people. The snake is a little bit shadier, whereas the fox is crafty as all get out and involves some trickery. The snake is a bit more, I don't want to say evil, but ill-intended, and the fox is a bit more clever. So my husband always says dumb as a fox. Someone is dumb as a fox. So that's somebody who's kind of putting it on so that they can pretend like they're not as smart as they actually are, and they're actually kind of scrambling around. So is Charles our fox here? Is he the one that's going to go and make some offering and say, "Hey, we're gonna do this." The reason why this card comes up as the stork is it may mean taking something from one person and giving it to another is because storks actually do that. Storks they will steal food from other birds and give it to other animals as like a, hey, look, this is really cool. So does the ends justify the means? That's kind of the thinking here. So this is going to be a very interesting process. So this is also the stork is also deliverance of good from bad. So this is, I think we're going to see some neat things here. I am not going to go down that M&H road, though. That's not what we're doing today. We're going to leave this as it is, and we are going to go back to my screen. So I thought that was interesting. Lot of information that we have to go through this week. So we're going to keep it light. This is a little bit longer of a video than I expected, but I'm going to pop it up very shortly for y'all. And I will see you later. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.